Hi everyone, welcome to my coverage of the 8th World Chess Championship match between Lasker and Tarrasch in 1908. There's a little bit of history between these guys. When Steinitz was still world champion, Tarrasch was considered to be the likely second world champion. And at some point around then, Lasker challenged Tarrasch to a match, and Tarrasch kind of brushed him off because, say he wasn't really experienced enough. So, for whatever reason, supposedly, they were not friends because of that. These chess players are very sensitive. So, in 1908, Tarrasch challenged Lasker for the World Championship, and Lasker accepted, but, this is what I'm reading. It says, he was convinced that Tarrasch had hypnotic powers, and therefore suggested to play the match from a different room. So they ended up playing in Germany, and I don't know. It said it was considered by many to be the most exciting chess match in history up to that date. Supposedly, they were not friends. If you recall, in many tournaments earlier, Lasker won a tournament, and at the end of the tournament, Tarrasch wrote a book on the tournament and included a luck meter at the end to kind of show how lucky Lasker got. In any case, I'm going to give you guys some multiple choice here. This is an exchange Roy Lopez, and it's black to move. Your three choices are going to be pretty obvious choices, but I'm going to go through them one at a time. All right? Choice number one. White is attacking the g7 pawn. Choice number one would be to go f6. And after f6, the idea here is we control the e5 square. And we can simply develop our knight to h6 to f7, or maybe bishop d6 to knight e7 to knight g6 to e5. And black's position is okay. Black's solid and okay. Another possibility, knight to f6. Similar to f6, we're stopping bishop takes g7, but in this case, we're developing a piece. And so that seems to make more sense to me than playing f6. Choice number three, bishop to f6. And the idea of this move is, number one, this bishop on b2 looks very active. Why not trade it off? If bishop takes, knight takes, black should have a fine position. And if e5, remarkably, in such positions, this pawn can become overextended. And after we move the bishop back, first of all, we could play this move. And if g3, bishop takes f3, so like the king moves over. Then we have knight e7, and these two squares are targets. And when we castle queenside, eventually the e5 pawn could become a target. So you have to figure out which of those three ideas is most convincing. Which one would you go with? All right, so this is an important strategical concept. In this type of position, black has a weakened pawn structure, and white's plan is at some point to use these four pawns against these three to make a pass pawn and kind of win in a king and pawn endgame. What does black have in compensation for these weak pawns? Well, black has the two bishops. Apologies, I got a phone call. I had to pause the video. I totally lost my train of thought. But the main point is the two bishops are key here, and therefore bishop f6 is not a good move. Once we give up the two bishop advantage, then black really doesn't have great compensation for the weakened pawn structure. Therefore, either knight f6 or f6 are better moves. In my opinion, f6 is the best move, the most solid. And, bring the knight to h6 to f7 or maybe to e7. Knight f6 seems a little clunkier because some pawn moves could kick the knight away earlier. It just at some point, it just kind of seems a little less flexible to me. Developing pieces is not the most important here. What's most important is developing them to the correct squares. So I would say f6 is the best move. Knight f6 is okay. Bishop f6 is a strategical error. In any case, that is what Tarrasch did. And after bishop takes, castle queenside, a4, white ended up gaining some advantage. Because right now we just have 4 against 3, and black doesn't have really great compensation for Uh, for the rest of the video, I'd like to continue tomorrow. But thanks everyone for watching, and I hope you're going to enjoy this match. It's kind of some fun games in this match. Bye-bye.